Let's just jump right in. First idea is basically bamboo screens, and installing bamboo screens is going to be fast. And I think the best thing about this is that it looks so natural. When you have bamboo screens, and then also it offers basically low maintenance. And in terms of wind and noise and wind reduction, that helps quite a lot because, as you can see, when you have bamboo screens, it blocks out the wind and also the noise pollution. Let's say if you're living next to a road or a noisy area, you know. And then you can see right here on these bamboo screens, you can see it right along, the area, you know. And then you can see that, okay, you can barely see the other side, or people can barely see into your backyard space. This is actually pretty cool because you can just be chilling, without any problems. Like, and then it's also a very natural feel as well. Seems like you're in a forest or something like that, which is kind of cool. Next thing we have over here, this next idea is basically outdoor curtains. I like outdoor curtains because you can basically hang them, they're weatherproof, you can surround them like around your pergola or patio or gazebo, and one of the key benefits that they have is that it's fast and flexible. It's fast, flexible privacy. You can open and close them when you want. It's stylish and customizable, so you can change colors. If you want pink today, green tomorrow, black today, you can basically pick whatever you want, and also it's basically, it offers a lot of shade and also weather protection. It blocks out the sun and also like light rain if there's rain in your area. And I think the best part about these privacy screens is that, like, for example, this picture right here and this one right here, it's almost as if you're at a luxury resort, which is really cool. I think, imagine coming back home from like a long day of work, and then you're just gonna be sitting in your gazebo. Yo, it's gonna be so relaxing. It would be relaxing for me, just get a drink over there, just chill. Ah, so cool. So cool. The next idea that we have right here is your trellis with climbers. The reason why I love this idea is because you're mixing your wood with your greenery, or your metal fence with your greenery, like your trellis, your plants, you know. So, and you can have plants like, let's say, jasmine or ivy or wisteria, which is kind of cool. And then also, I think the benefits to having this is that there's always that aesthetic appeal. It creates sort of like a beautiful barrier, and then it also attracts pollinators, like bees and butterflies, which adds an extra depth and also an extra sort of like relaxing factor to your backyard, you know. And there's also customizable coverage as well. You can choose fast growing plants, different plants even if they're a match with each other in terms of color, contrast, or even type. And some of the plants that you can have are basically, like I said, jasmine. I think jasmine for me is my best one because it smells really nice. So you see over in here on this image right here, you can see along the fence you have your beautiful trellis right here, and it's covering all around the trellis, and you can barely see on the other side, which is so cool. And you need that splash of color in your backyard just to create sort of like that vibrancy, that's kind of cool. And then the next one is basically privacy panels. Another one of my favorites because it's decorative. You know, you can use things like wood, metal, composite timber in your design, you know, and then also the benefits of having these is that it's basically movable, it's portable. It has that decorative element, if you want to add a bit of like style in your backyard. And it also offers like durable material like wood or metal or composite. So the meaning of composite, for example, if you have things like composite wood, this is basically wood that's been recycled that lasts a bit longer than natural wood. So if you look down here, this is basically a privacy screen that's like really cool to look at. It's got like these really cool patterns, and over here, a person can just like sit right on the floor, whilst over on here, they can look at this decorative element that looks pretty cool. And I think if you have some wind coming through here, it's like a light breeze that'll be so nice to have. So, another idea, the final idea that we have over here is basically large planters with bushy plants. I always support having a fence that's very natural, you know, And you can obviously arrange these large planters with tall grasses or shrubs. For this one, it's basically sort of like a tree that grows like this. And then also you can consider plants like boxwood or ficus to block views whilst adding greenery. And then also the benefits of these is that it's very versatile and movable, which means that you can move it anywhere in your backyard. And then it's also a natural air purifier, and it's also space saving as well, especially for small yards or patios. So over here, you can see that, okay, there's a planter right at the bottom, but there's like a thick, bushy plant right over here, which is really cool because imagine if this was your fencing, like people wouldn't even see what's inside, but you have this thick, beautiful, bushy plant whereby if wind comes in, it'll be a natural, like, flowing of these plants, So that's pretty cool. That's pretty dope. So yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. Those are the 5 backyard privacy ideas. Check you on the next video.